If 5G covers 75% of America, why are people actually on 5G only 25% of the time? If 5G is the future, how did the entire network in major US cities turn into emergency only overnight? People don't want speed. They want stability and affordable internet. That's why 5G has hype, but not real demand. 5G isn't slow because the technology is weak. It's slow because in American cities, it's becoming hard to even find places to install it. So when headlines call 5G America's future, the real network experience still falls short of consumer expectations, and that gap is what we're going to discuss. So 5G actually comes in 3 different levels, and understanding this is key if you want to see the gap between what the ads promise and what you really experience. First is low-band 5G, which can reach far into rural America, but the speeds aren't that impressive. Second is mid-band, covering cities and suburbs. It gives moderate speeds with decent coverage. And the third, the most exciting, is M-Wave. It can deliver lightning-fast speeds, but the signal barely travels a few blocks. So if you're walking around Manhattan, you might notice a huge difference from one street corner to the next. That's why many Americans are asking themselves, 5G promises incredible speed. But in the real world, is it really everywhere it should be? To make 5G truly fast in America, it's not about building massive cell towers anymore. It requires installing thousands of small antennas known as small cells. Problem is, every single small cell needs fiber backhaul, a stable power connection, and approval from the local city. And in the US, every city plays by a different rule book. In some places, the fees are high. In others, permits move painfully slow. And in many cases, legal battles hold everything up. That's why 5G looks nationwide in commercials. But on the ground, getting reliable 5G on every street corner is far more complicated. 5G isn't just about antennas. Its real backbone is fiber and power. Every small cell needs a high-capacity fiber backhaul and a stable 24/7 power supply to function properly. For traditional carriers in the US, rolling all this out is expensive and slow. That's why cable companies like Comcast and Charter came up with a clever shortcut. Instead of installing new poles or laying new fiber, they mounted small cells directly on their existing cable lines. Power comes straight from the cable strand, and data flows through the DOCSIS network they already have. Local approvals are already in place thanks to existing franchise agreements. While a traditional small cell can cost $20,000 to $50,000 to deploy, this strand-mounted approach costs just a few $1,000s per unit. This clearly shows that 5G isn't slow because the radio technology is weak. It's slow because getting fiber and power to every street corner in America is still a major challenge. Getting 5G live on every street corner isn't just about tech, it's also about getting the green light from local authorities. Every city, town, or county in the US has its own rules for permits, fees, and zoning. In some cities, the approval process moves slowly. In others, extra legal requirements can drag it out for months. Even low-powered small cells face roadblocks. That's why cable operators like Comcast and Charter use their existing rights of way. It lets them skip much of the approval hassle and deploy faster. Without these permissions, even the fastest radios and fiber networks can't bring 5G to the streets. If 5G is so expensive, why are companies still pushing it? The answer lies in strategy, not necessity. Rolling out 5G across the US costs billions, from thousands of small cells, fiber backhaul, and power setups to navigating city permits and zoning rules. Even for large carriers like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, these investments don't pay off immediately. At the same time, most Americans don't really need 5G yet. There's no killer app or service that makes upgrading unavoidable. Streaming, social media, and video calls still run fine on 4G in most areas. So why push it? Operators do it to stay competitive and protect market share. Advertising blazing speeds and ultra-low latency keeps consumers interested and positions them as industry leaders. It also prepares the network for future applications, like immersive AR, autonomous vehicles, and smart cities that could finally justify the cost. In short, 5G today is an upgrade, not a revolution, but carriers are pushing it because the market rewards early adoption and being ready for what's next. Here's the reality. 5G is expensive for carriers, but the technology itself isn't a must-have for most Americans yet. Unlike 3G or 4G, there isn't a single killer app that forces people to upgrade. No game, no service, no app that can't run on 4G. That means, for carriers like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, the business challenge is clear. They are investing billions in infrastructure with no immediate revenue boost from consumers. So why push 5G? It's not about revolutionizing daily life yet. It's about staying competitive, future-proofing networks, and preparing for next-gen applications like autonomous cars, immersive AR, and smart cities that might finally justify the cost. In short, 5G today is more of an upgrade than a revolution. Operators push it to maintain market leadership, not because consumers can't live without it. Let's take a step back and look at the reality of 5G in the US. Coverage numbers look impressive on paper. Carriers like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile claim 75% of the country is covered. But your phone isn't on 5G all the time. Depending on where you are, it could be low band, mid-band, or millimeter wave, and real-world speeds often fall short of the ads. Rolling out this network isn't easy either. Installing thousands of small cells, connecting them with high-capacity fiber, powering them 24/7, and getting local permits. It's a massive, expensive, and slow process. Even with billions invested, carriers can't immediately see big returns. And let's not forget why most people aren't rushing to upgrade. There's no single killer app forcing them to switch. Streaming, social media, and video calls still work fine on 4G in most areas. In short, 5G today is more of an upgrade than a revolution. This recap shows us the gap between what 5G promises and what it delivers. High coverage numbers don't always mean high performance, and expensive rollout doesn't instantly translate into life-changing experiences. So what's coming next in the world of 5G? Carriers aren't stopping at what's live today. The next phase is standalone 5G, 5G SA, a fully cloud-based network that no longer relies on older 4G infrastructure. This upgrade promises lower latency, more reliable connections, and better support for new applications. Cities are also seeing millimeter wave densification, especially in dense urban areas like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. By adding more small cells on poles, rooftops, and existing infrastructure, operators can finally deliver those ultra-fast speeds, at least street by street. And 5G isn't just about speed, it's about new possibilities. From immersive AR and VR experiences to autonomous vehicles communicating in real time, to smart city applications like connected traffic lights and public safety monitoring, the potential is huge, but it's still being built out. Looking even further ahead, researchers are already testing 6G technologies, expected around 2030, which could multiply speeds, reduce latency further, and unlock even more futuristic applications. For now, though, 5GSA and millimeter wave expansion are the most important steps to watch in the US. So, what does all this mean for you as a 5G user? First, don't expect blazing speeds everywhere. Even in cities with lots of 5G coverage, your phone might still fall back to low or mid-band, depending on where you are. Real-world speeds can be very different from what the ads promise. Second, check your carrier and coverage type. Knowing whether your area uses low, mid, or MEM-wave 5G can help you understand why speeds may fluctuate. Some carriers are better at urban densification, while others focus on broader coverage. Third, remember the hype versus reality. 5G is still being built out. Fiber, power, and local permits limit how fast and how widely it can actually reach. Blazing speeds on one street corner may not mean the same for the next. Bottom line, enjoy 5G where it works best, but stay realistic. It's fast where it's dense, promising where it's upgraded, and still a work in progress across the country. So here's the reality. 5G is here, but only partially. Speeds are blazing in some spots, slow in others, and the network is still being built out. Fiber, power, and local approvals mean it won't reach every street corner just yet. Patience is the price we pay for next-generation connectivity. The future is fast, exciting, and closer than you think. But for now, 5G is an upgrade, not a revolution.